All right, it's Tuesday night. This is Sea Science Film Labs. We are going to discuss the creation versus evolution topic, or even atheism versus creation more, uh, because it's an important topic. And a lot of people need to know, the arguments and everything. I don't know where my friend Jason is this week, but, he does stuff too. I mean, he could be sleeping, he could be out on a journey maybe. I don't know where he's at, but he's somewhere. I guarantee that. So let's get into it. I don't know, maybe play a little music. See if this thing works still. Flat A. That's a flat A right there. See if anybody. All right. Hi.
Hi.
All right. So yeah, I'm here with Jolene of Sea Science Film Labs, and this is Mark of Sea Science Film Labs. She's back this week at the lab, my lab tech.
Nice to be back.
All right. So I don't know what really we're going to discuss tonight. As I said, Jason's a no-show, but he might come in later on. It's possible. Let's see what we got in the chat here. See missing mods in the chat. Big Bad Mama. It's coming through clear. All right. That sounds good. All right. Alex is there. Robin's up top. Kitty Mama's there too. That's cool. Okay. So that was my crappy version of Timothy Leary's Moody Blues. I was trying to play Moody Blues, but they usually have like an orchestra and stuff backing them up, and that's what the difference is. I just don't have that orchestra, and otherwise it'd be spot on, as they say. So basically, creationists are right, atheists are wrong. So it'd be great to talk to an atheist about how wrong they are about God and everything.
Yes, it would.
And yeah, so atheism is really a religion. It's like a simple religion because it's one built on denial. And, it affects the whole philosophy of person. So it is really their religion. I mean, it's really a philosophical viewpoint that denies the maker exists. And, if you want to live a life of denial, an irrational denial at that, because I find like talking to atheists, the main reasons they have for not believing in their own maker is pretty much based on emotional reasons, no real logic at all. Like, I mean, they're like, I just don't like his personality, or what else? Or God kills stuff, and it's like, well, but that doesn't mean he doesn't exist.
Well, in my hospital stay, I had a few different people that I talked to about creationism and Jesus and God and everything and what my beliefs were. And I had some really good conversations in there on creationism versus and heaven versus hell and stuff like that.
Excellent. Yeah, it's good to get to know people, I guess, on that level. You're good. And I know your voice is a little shot because you've had a cold and you had some medical stuff.
I had severe medical issue where I had to be put in an induced coma due to sepsis. So I was intubated for almost a week. But I'm out and I'm doing a lot better now. But yes, my voice is pretty sore at the moment still.
So, yeah, that's why she's a little
So
quieter.
sorry if I'm a little harsh sounding.
But, yeah, maybe we could talk about cosmology, or I think I have Led Zeppelin here. I don't know. But that's not part of the... Ooh, we could talk about ERVs, because a lot of times you have the evolutionists coming at you and saying, well, there's genetic markers and these ERVs that are consistent between humans and endogenous retroviruses, I believe. And so, like, there's a handful of these endogenous retroviruses that are common between humankind and apes, but it's a handful out of tens of thousands of ERVs, of ERV sites. So the real question that the atheist should be asking isn't, doesn't this prove they're related, but it should be, if there's so many ERVs that are not alike between humans and apes, then why should anyone believe humans and apes are actually related, So
Very true, science.
Thank you. So I do have it written here that there are more exact matches of ERVs in mice and rats than there are between humans and apes. So I thought that was pretty interesting. This would, of course, prove that the ERV sections between humans and apes are not because of common ancestry, but that the ERV preference sites and the nature of viral infection are a better reason for the common ERV sites. So maybe it's not common ancestry that explains the 200 or so ERV-like sites between humans and apes. Maybe it's a common environment and that they shared common viruses, Like, if there's so few that are common between human and apes, then we have to come up for a reason for that. And it's not logical to claim a...
May I say something?
Sure.
To Missing Mod, as she says, you take many things on faith too. What if you are wrong? One thing that I learned way back when I was growing up, I used to do what's called Bible quizzing, where I read the Bible a lot. One thing you take on faith, when you sit down in a chair, you are taking it on faith that chair is going to hold you up. So yes, there are many, many things that we take on faith.
And Missing Mod, she's also a creationist, and she actually talks to the atheists here too.
Yes, I've been trying to keep up with some of the comments. Sorry if I'm a little slow.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I missed anything in the chat so far. But so yeah, ERVs, we covered that. Just kind of going over some small things here. And of course, you know, we're biblical creationists, so we believe in the global flood and the wiping out of humanity and a bunch of animals here.
You're welcome there, Missing Mod.
But yeah, let me share the link into the chat if anybody wants to join.
But the first time you sit on that chair, Robin, you had faith that that chair was going to hold you up. And when you get into your car every day, you have faith that that car is going to start, because cars and things like that have many problems. So there's a lot of things that we do take on faith every day in our lives.
Okay.
You got anything to add there, C
Oh no,
Science?
I'm set on that. Is there any particular, like, you've heard a few of the creationist things? Do you want to talk about the flood, or you want to
Sure.
get into it? Okay. So yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of people are pretty much ignorant to the evidence of a global flood, and you know, this is a catastrophic event that would have affected the whole world. So, catastrophic flood that would affect the entire world or cover the whole world. Global flood. I'm sorry, I'm getting.
May I say something as
go ahead.
well?
Yeah,
I also agree with Missing Mod. We do all love you here, Miss Robin. Go ahead, C Science.
All right. Christian love. Yep. So a global flood would have global evidence, is what I'm saying. Slow it down a little bit.
Missing Mod, we all missed you here too at C Science Film Labs. But go ahead, C Science.
Yeah, all the lab techs.
Yes, all the lab techs over here. I really missed you guys. Basically, when I was in the hospital, Mark decided not to do the one, and then he did the one last week.
Yeah,
was
the
it?
one open mic I sort of missed. I
Okay,
couldn't really
but
get my stuff together for it. Yep, but we're back now. So
I'm glad you and I'm our BFFs, Robin.
are you a
Am I a what?
mod at all? Let me see.
I do not know. You will have to check that for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to change that. All right, so yeah, a global flood would have global evidence. We've got the elevated lakes across the planet, which are lakes that are far above sea level, and you know, the water. You know, you gotta explain how the water got there. You know, rain doesn't quite cut it because the rain evaporates. You know, so how did this water get up so high into the mountains, create these super deep lakes? I forgot what the name of the lake is in South America, but there's a very deep lake. And
honestly, I'm blanking on it at the moment as well.
Anyway, it's famous though. I can't remember it, so none of that matters. But you have these elevated lakes, and the Great Lakes themselves, you know, just these massive bodies of water, right, that are collected, and you kind of have to account for them. Now, there's desert basins across the planet. Like, these Great Lakes are sort of a rare thing now, but you got to figure after a great flood, and we got to think what a planet would be like after a global flood. It'd be much like after a rainstorm. If you look out on your driveway and you see a bunch of puddles, well, there was a lot of water trapped up and locked on the land, you know. So there were these shallow lakes and seas that just went on for miles and miles. And these shallow lakes and seas are the desert basins that we see across the planet. And when these Great Lakes, when their natural levees broke and it washed out the levee, it created gorges and canyons. And that's why there's gorges and canyons and evidence of water erosion of that magnitude all across the entire face of the earth. So I think that's some of the best evidence for a global flood.
I agree, C Science.
Yeah.
And then also the fact that they did find the ark as well.
Yeah, in Turkey.
If I remember correctly, yes,
Yeah.
Turkey.
Yeah, I've heard of the Ron White discovery. That's some interesting stuff too. I wish that we could watch a movie on that.
My
That'd be
parents
something.
actually visited the remake of the Ark with my nieces and nephews,
Oh,
and
really?
eventually they would like to take me there as well because they said it was just amazing to go through.
The one in Kentucky, I imagine, by AIG. That would be Ham's Ark. You know that they have a Pakicetus, I heard, on the Ark, which is interesting. What?
That's awesome.
Oh, here we go. Oh, here. Well, let's start with this one. The Ice Age accounts for many of the lakes. Yeah, see, that's the thing. You either like believe in these, mile-high sheets of ice that came down as far as the equator, or you can believe in a global flood. I mean, for me, an ice age, I don't really believe in an ice age. And I know a lot of creationists do try to put that into their model, but I just don't understand where that fits into the Bible. Like, I don't remember Moses or Abraham mentioning 1,000 years of ice that they had to hide from in the ice, hide from the harsh conditions. It's just not part of the story.
No, it's not.
I don't know, but you can't just go off the Bible for your logic. So you have to say, what evidence is there of this ice age, and what is an ice age? Like, what defines an ice age?
Speaking of an ice age, I may need to go grab some ice for the lake.
All right, I'll grab some ice. You think you can chat them up?
Well, as far as a lot of the ice age stuff, I am currently catching up on more of the creation versus evolution stuff with Sea Science and Mark here. So honestly, I am not very well versed in a lot of that stuff. I'm just waiting for Mark to get me a bag of ice. Unfortunately, in the hospital, I kind of blew a knee out. But I do know a little bit. But like I said, I am kind of foggy. Mark, did you have anything to add here? Because I might have to take a little break here for a second. I'm sorry tonight. I'm kind of on quite a few pain meds at the moment due to the blown out knee because it just happened this morning. Big Bad Mama says, how do you pronounce that? Okay, you want to? Because remember, I can't click on it from mine yet.
Is that Netflix?
What is that? That she's talking about this.
All right, regarding the Grand Canyon.
Nope, not this.
The information, not the Ark. Oh, she's talking about Turkey.
Oh, the Turkey one. Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the
Thank
biggest counters to that claim, I guess. But, yeah, I mean, Ron White, he discovered quite a lot of things.
Thank you, Big Bag Mama, as well. Oh, and I didn't
Titicaca. Yeah, he even knew the lake in South America or whatever.
There we
go.
go.
Deep lake.
And
That's an
Robin,
elevated lake.
I did not realize BBM was a geologist.
Isn't that excellent? I would love to hear.
That is very excellent.
Big Bad Mama's explanation
Yes,
of Lake
we
Titicaca.
would love to hear that.
How that water get up so high into the mountains. Was that also an ice age? So that's my question back to you was Lake Titicaca formed by an ice age? I mean, if that's your explanation for the Great Lakes, then are there other explanations for the other elevated lakes around the planet? So, what is it?
I'm interested to hear from Big Bad Mama on that as well.
Okay. You said sorry to hear about your knee.
I saw that. I said
That's
thank
nice.
you, and she said she will study it and get back to you.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
So yeah, thank you.
I mean, you have those elevated lakes, but then you also have the desert basins. They used to be shallow seas and lakes all across the planet, I mean, there's only a few of these Great Lakes left, and I happen to live right next to them, so I thought about it quite a bit. But, yeah. I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, it looks like we might have lost Missing Mod.
Oh, that's all right.
All right.
She'll probably come back in a minute.
Well,
She's probably
and-
listening to a good song or
Oh,
something.
here. Nope, Missing Mod is here.
Oh,
That's good.
okay.
Glad you're still here with us. And again, sorry I'm a little foggy tonight. And as I said, I might have to step out a little early on tonight's discussion due to pain levels. But hopefully next time I join in, I will be a little more well-versed on some of these things as Mark is helping me learn a little more about the creation side of everything.
And furthermore, on the point of evidence for the global flood, it'd be global. You have at the bottom of shallow lakes, you have a lot of mud. Okay, so although these lakes were here for a short time, a few hundred years, they form that mud at the bottom of these lakes. So there's quite a bit of, and even during the flood, like a lot of the sediment that settled, created clay. So across the planet, you find clay, and that's kind of formed at the bottom of a body of water. Usually, I mean, there's quite a bit of claimable evidence for a global flood. But Lake Titicaca got you caught up, big old baby. I actually
it does.
I don't
And
know.
she keeps hearing Mark, and it's a trigger of hers.
Oh, where's Aiden? You want to see a trigger? You'll get Aiden in here. He'll love it. You gotta get. All right. So cosmology. We'll move on off of the global flood evidence and get into another topic. So we just do like a little bit of each, I guess, tonight. So you have cosmology. Atheists. They usually choose the Big Bang Theory as their model for the creation of the universe. Okay. And it kind of ignores most of the scientific principles, especially physics. Ignores the fact that every effect has a cause. So as a creationist, we don't believe that this kind of universe could come around unintentionally from nowhere, nothing, as the atheists seem to be able to believe. Because there's far too many systems that we see in this universe, whether it's solar systems or body systems or ecosystems, and then they're all interdependent, like they all rely on each other.
Very true.
Yeah. So evolution, let me show. I actually have a picture. We could show a picture tonight.
Okay.
Here, check this out. So this is evolution. I showed this last week too, but
Okay, I missed that then.
Yeah, and I mean they have particulate through future. So I mean they even say what the future is.
Yes, I am
Gonna
seeing
be.
that here as well.
Yeah.
I'm just pulling up the picture. No.
So not only can they imagine the past using this theory of evolution, but apparently they're also can foretell the future. So, like, I would really like to ask, any of the atheists that believe in biological evolution, like, what do you think the next step is for humans? I mean, I've always wondered that, like, what are we going to turn into, like, eventually? Where's it headed? I mean, if you can tell the future here, it says, and then make all these predictions with the theory of evolution, if it's so scientific, then where's all this headed to? Like, is there a conclusion? Has anyone thought about that? But yes, particulate to lactic, stellar, to planetary, chemical, biological. So
we're cutting out. See.
Are we cutting out? Well, that's usual. Well, you know what? Let's cut it short tonight because I know you said that you're kind of feeling like we're hitting up.
Did you want to cut it short tonight?
Jason wasn't here. And we kind of hit a couple topics. So
sounds good.
All right, Jolene, it was good talking with you.
It was good talking with everyone.
Thanks for coming, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, and stay strong and God bless.
Stay strong and God bless for me as well.